So hello and welcome to the pretty much last episode for this advanced web browser, because this time it will be the last time that we will work with code. Next time we have to test our project and create a setup file. Okay, we will create a setup file using the install child that we also used for the keylogger, because this is more professional than the option that Visual Basic has, which is called publish. I think that this is more professional. So let me go inside the project. So today we will work with FRM properties. Okay, so we will fix some things and we will delete actually some things also. So go to your content, actually go to your general, and you have to delete the download group, because we didn't create a downloader for our web browser, because there is already a downloader. Since we have the since we use the IE by itself, it already has a downloader. So delete the downloads group, and we will also delete our contents, because when you run the project, run the project and make the web browser smaller, you will notice that our items disappear from here, but you can find them if you click on this button right here. Okay, you can find them all, and you can also click them, you can work with them. Okay, so it's not a big deal. So when you make the screen bigger, you can see them again. The same thing happens with our favorites down here. So if I make the screen smaller, my favorites are shown right here. So it's very, I don't think that we will actually use this so much, the contents things, and it actually requires a bit of work. So anyway, we have to work with our, save the settings and all that stuff. So I will skip this part, because you can actually pretty much find them right here. But what I will do is, so let me delete this. So click on the contents and go to your top pages and go to find it, actually contents right here, and click remove. See, contents, remove. Okay, so I will fix this by going to my form and set the maximum size, which is right here, to 500 by 500 maximum size. What happened here? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. So sorry. Can I anyway, so you have to go to your minimum size, not maximum size. Oh my god, that was a huge mistake. Minimum size 500 by 500. Okay, so I'm very sorry about this mistake. You can change your browser your form size by clicking with this point right here and move it up and down. Anyway, so if you take this to the left, we cannot go anymore to the left, as you see, because this is our minimum size, 500 by 500. You see, I cannot make this smaller. Let's change this to 600 by 600, and the same thing happens. We cannot make this smaller. This is how small we can go. So if I run my web browser and I change now the minimum size, I'm trying to change this to make this smaller, but I cannot do that. Actually, we need this a bit more bigger, because we need at least to have the navigator text box right here. Okay, so I will make this pretty much like 700. I think it will be okay. So let me go to the minimum size back again and make this 700. Okay, and now we have, I think, the text box. Let me see. Yeah, we have our text box, and we also have our reload button. Okay, alright, so we pretty much fixed our problem with our contents. So the next thing is about the security. So remember and forget passwords. This is something that is done by the IE, so I will not use this also. So click on the security, go to tab pages, and delete security, but add a new tab called email. Very well. Okay, you can change the icon of email and also the network by, you can go back to my videos and see how I put some icons inside my tabs. Okay, I will not show it right now because we have already done it. Anyway, so now today we will work with the remember history, network, and also email. So let me start with remember history and never remember history, because this is pretty much something like a private window. So when you want to navigate, without saving their history, you have to go to your settings and click on this, and then you will not add your navigation sites inside the history. So double click on the properties and go to the code, because right here we will say dim history as integer equals to 0, and then we will have to create getters and setters for this variable. So public, private actually, sub, set, history, and then we will need by val int as integer. Inside here we will say history equals to int. This is how we set our history. And now we will also need to get our history, so private function, because this time we will return a value, get history, and right here we will say return history. So this was very, very simple, I think. Now we have to go back to our web browser function. So click on the web browser function and go to your view code. Right click on the web browser function and go to view code. Right here we will actually need another more condition. Okay, so if not history blah 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 and how we will say this, and frm properties dot get history. Oh, I forgot that it's already it's public. The functions are private. Sorry about that. Public and public. So make them both public. That was a very small mistake. So now let's see. Okay, get history equals to 0. Then we add the link in our history. So if this is 1, we do not add the link in our history. Okay, because they must both, our conditions must both be satisfied. So after this we have to go to frm privacy. Okay, so here we will also need something else inside the code. We will need another function. So go to your frm properties design, and you will double click on the remember history. Okay, so if rb remember his dot checked equals to true, if this is equals to true, then we set history to 0. Alright, but we double click on the remember history now. If never remember history dot checked equals to true, then set history to 1. Okay, but by default, when we start our web browser, we have to select by default the remember history. Okay, so if you go to your load right here, we can say remember his dot checked equals to true, and this will check by default our history. And we will also say set history to 0. Okay, Alright, so we pretty much have done this. Let me run this now and see if our history thing works. Alright guys, so if I go and I open my history and I also open my advanced options and I go to privacy, you see that the remember history is already selected. So if I click on one of my videos, so if I click on this video, we will get the code, the link, as you see. Okay, if I go somewhere else, we will add one more link. We added this one. If I go somewhere else, again, we add the other link. If now I go to never remember history, we have changed our history variable to 1. So now we must not add links anymore in our history. So if I go here, we browse, but we do not add the link, as you see. If I go here, again we browse, but we do not add the link. If I go back to remember history and I go, you see we added a new link, SRAE. If I go to the family behind the scenes part 1, part 2, we added one more link. So our remember and don't remember history works very well. And actually, yeah, we did it. So now next step is the network. So here now we have to use the code that we used for our keylogger to get the IP, the MAC address, and many other information. So if you click on your text box, change the name to network txt network. Okay, and double click on your property so you can go back to your load function, because here every time we open our properties we need to update our information. So use the try catch first of all, so we do not have any error, and say dim process as new process. Okay, and then process dot start info dot use shell execute equals to false. Process dot start info again dot redirect standard output equals to true, and then one more try catch. Let me add some spaces here. Okay, now inside this try catch we will say process dot start info dot file name equals to ipconfig process dot start info again arguments equals to all process dot standard info dot create no window equals to true, so we do not any kind of window, and then process dot start. Okay, not start info but dot start. After this we will say txt network dot text equals to txt network dot text plus, and here we will say replace process dot standard output dot read to end comma chr13, this symbol that I have no idea how it's called, chr13 again, comma again, and then chr13 one more time, and we close that, double parenthesis at the end of this, or maybe not, wait a moment, too many arguments. Why too many arguments? Process, so replace process dot standard output dot read to end comma chr13 chr13. Yeah, I don't understand why we have let me pause the video for the moment. I can't believe this. My mistake was that I forgot the parenthesis right here. Oh my god, that was very stupid. Anyway, so after this we will say process dot wait for exit. Okay. Alright, so pretty much we also finished with this one. So if I run my web browser again and I go to my properties, options, and I go to network, we have all our information that we need. But we will also need a scroll bar to go up and down, so okay, FRM properties, so go here and then go to scroll bars both, right? Let me see this now. Options, network, okay. So we have our network information. So one more time, you click on the text box, txt network, and you go to your scroll bars and you select both. Alright. Now the last thing is our email, okay? For the email, we will need a text box, one for the email, one for the password, 2 labels, and I think a button to send our email. And also one more text box for our body. Alright. So let me change this to email, password, alright, so email here, password here, so this is just the design of our email tab. This text box will be multi-line. We also need to add somewhere on my send button. I will add it right here. Okay, so let me change the names of my tools. So this will be called txt email, txt password, txt body, btn send email, and also the text to send. Okay, so now let me go here, right? And we will need a Tricot. So double click on your send button and we will need a Tricot here, and we will say it's the same code that we have used for the keylogger again. So let me in that case go back to my Visual Studio and find the project, so I can just copy paste the code instead of typing again from the beginning. Which is right here, yeah. I paste the code. So the mymail method, so we have to import system.mail. Okay, so import the system.mail, .net.mail, and here we have to make some changes. So the email address, here you have to say, you delete this part and you say txt email.text from, and then we will also need one more email for 2. So we will make this smaller, we will move this down, we will create another text box, one more label. Okay, so this will be named 2. And my text box right here. Alright, so we go back to the code. Where is the code? Right here. So from txt email.text to, we have to change this to txt to email. Okay, so double click on the send again. For the to email, we will say txt to email.text. Now for the subject, it will be you have to also add a subject. So anyway, so the subject, it will be another text box, but this is very bad right now. This looks very, very bad. So please guys, change your design because my design is very bad. So subject, and we will also again need another text box. So I'm very sorry about the design of this one. You can make this much better, I'm sure about that. Go to the name of your text box, txt subject. Alright, so back to your code. You will delete the whole this part equals to txt subject dot text. The body will be txt body dot text. Here for our example we will use a Gmail. If you want to use another service, if you want to use Yahoo, Hotmail, you have to change your SMTP client and also your port and also the email, of course. So anyway, here we will say again, we will delete this email and we will say txt email.text, and here we will say txt password.text. So guys, in the end, when you will type your email, so this is your email, this is the email that you want to send your email, this is your password and your subject. You also have to add something as a body, and then you will click on your send button and that will send you an email. Alright, I don't have an email to test this now, but it totally works. I'm sure about this because we have used the code from the keylogger. So this totally works. So finally we're done. Alright, so like this video guys, comment, and also don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subbed. So subscribe to my channel. After this test and the setup video, we will start a Java project, or maybe we will start some Java tutorials. Alright, so maybe I will start the Java tutorials first, so you can, some of you that they have no idea about Java, they can learn some basic stuff, or actually some pretty much object-oriented stuff like inheritance, polymorphism, and work with classes and all that stuff. So anyway, so thank you for watching. Like the video, comment, and don't forget to subscribe, and have a nice day guys.